alive. And apparently, that argument actually worked, because in a settlement just a few days ago, the state let those 6 men go outside to view the eclipse. So notably, it doesn't appear that other inmates got the same privilege, which is yet another example that the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Is that the phrase? What is the phrase? It gets the grease. As my grandma used to say, same difference. But as amazing as all this was, it's important to remember that for some people, Eclipse Day is going to be the worst day of their life. And with that, professional nerd Hank Green even explaining why in a video.
It is not really the amount of light that comes from the sun that's dangerous, it's the quality of that light. It is extraordinarily high energy light. So even if it's just a tiniest sliver of sun still visible as the moon goes over it, if you look at that for as little as a few seconds, you might permanently damage your eyes.
But Hank also adding that a second danger is that you're gonna have so many people driving on the roads, which will inevitably just cause more traffic accidents.
We actually saw this in the numbers leading up to the 2017 eclipse. Fatalities and car crashes went from the background rate of around 7.9 deaths per hour to over 10 deaths per hour.
The warning that this year's eclipse was even more dangerous because it was so accessible to so many more people. But for now, we're gonna have to wait to see what those numbers are, kind of like how we have to wait till July 5th to see how many people accidentally blew their fingers off because of fireworks. But in the meantime, I gotta ask, how was your eclipse day? For me, it was whatever. I kind of ended up just getting lost in thought about Heroes, like the TV show Heroes, because there's a meaningful eclipse in that show. And then I just got sad because the writer's strike on that one, while very important, it ruined what I think was going to be one of the best shows on TV. So maybe it was always doomed. I don't know. Main point, happy Eclipse Day. And then we got a lot of quickie entertainment news, starting with celebrity legal drama. Like, for example, country music star Morgan Wallen just got arrested for throwing a chair from a rooftop bar in Nashville, with Metro Nashville Police releasing a statement on Twitter saying Morgan was booked for 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 count of misdemeanor disorderly conduct, with the chair landing on Broadway close to 2 Metro Nashville police officers. And USA Today obtaining an affidavit where officers claim that he threw the chair for, quote, no legitimate purpose. Which for me just begs the question of what would a legitimate purpose be to throw a chair off of a roof? Like, that's just a weird sentence. Like, would he be fighting the fucking Green Goblin? But the good news is reportedly there were no injuries. As far as Morgan, he was released by 3:30 a.m. after posting bond. Also, regarding celebrities having legal trouble, we should talk about Jonathan Majors. He just got sentenced, and the big thing is that he avoided jail time because he was facing potentially up to a year in jail after being convicted of assault. But this judge instead ruled on probation, ordering him to pay a $250 fine and undergo a 52-week counseling program, with outlets like Variety noting that programming is specifically about domestic violence and that it'll start off in person in LA with future sessions possibly being virtual. And then on top of all that, he'll also have to complete his mental health therapy that he's been in and provide updates on that. But if he doesn't end up complying with his sentencing and probation, he could end up facing jail time. Then, in not legal news, but other quick celebrity news, you had Billie Eilish announcing her new album and then there being fallout after that, with her writing on Instagram today that the album Hit Me Hard and Soft will be coming out in May. That she won't be releasing any singles leading up to it because she just wants to hit people with the whole thing all at once. So obviously, you had Billie and her fans excited, celebrating the news. But then something appears to have happened that pissed Billie off, and that's because she posted Instagram stories saying, fuck you to Rolling Stone, with accounts like Popbase saying that she wrote and then deleted this after the outlet allegedly leaked her track list. But currently, the outlet's article on the upcoming album doesn't have the track list, so it looks like it may have been removed. But it is worth noting that they aren't the only ones that appear to have shared it. The pop culture news account still having the track list posted. Places like Genius Lyrics have it as well, but Billie's fans are primarily going after Rolling Stone, just pissed off at them, slamming them on every corner of the internet. Though for their parts, neither Billie nor Rolling Stone have said anything more about the debacle. And then we've had a lot of planes and ships in the news doing things they're not supposed to do, but unfortunately, today is no different. With most recently, passengers on this Southwest flight that took off from Denver yesterday getting this show. Right, and what you're looking at here is the engine cowling, which is a removable sheet of metal that's normally supposed to cover one of the plane's engines. Except here, when someone looked out their window, they saw it sheared off, striking one of the wing flaps and just kind of whipping in the wind like that for 25 minutes. With the flight then immediately returning to Denver, and thankfully nothing else went wrong. So of course, with this, one of the first questions was, what plane was it? And like with what's been the case recently, it was Boeing, with this particular model being a 737-800, which was built in 2017. But to be clear, at this point, like, we don't know that Boeing is actually to blame here. But it could have just been the result of faulty maintenance, not a design issue. A Southwest spokesperson saying the incident was a result of a mechanical issue. But either way, you got people saying Boeing and engine ripping apart in headlines, and they're going, oh, just more of the same recent troubles. Which, I mean, not even including the 2 big crashes that happened years ago. It just seems like there's been bad news after bad news since January. Right back when the Alaska Airlines 737-9 MAX blew out its door plug mid-flight, which of course led to a DOJ criminal probe and a $1 billion lawsuit. But then of course at the same time we've had horrible boat news. Because of course 2 weeks ago the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore collapsed after a container ship lost power and rammed into it, that killing 6 people, and only 3 of those bodies have been recovered so far. Cleanup crews also working, removing 1 Statue of Liberty's worth of debris from the river so far, though notably the ship's still stuck there. And we're also now finding out that there was almost a repeat of that disaster on Friday night, because reportedly another large container ship nearly struck another bridge, with an 89,000-ton vessel losing propulsion, though not all power, in the Kill Van Hull waterway near New York Harbor, which is a busy shipping lane between Staten Island and New Jersey. There, thankfully, there was a group of tugboats that guided it to a stop near the Verrazano Narrows Bridge where it was repaired, with it eventually regaining power and safely anchoring outside the waterway. But with this, I'll say while it was reminiscent of what happened in Baltimore, unlike in that incident, this one had the U.S. Coast Guard managing vessel traffic service, which means that they're actually prepared for emergencies like this, which is maybe why nothing happened. But this is reportedly only 12 ports of vessel traffic service, and obviously Baltimore Harbors wasn't one of them. And then today is a good news, bad news situation for Elon Musk and Twitter. And I'll start with the good news, right? His recruitment effort to get MrBeast in to try to use him as a way to go like, hey, this is a place to post videos. It appears to be working out, at least to some degree. But MrBeast posted an update over the weekend saying posting videos on X has been awesome so far. And with that, including a screenshot of view metrics in the first video that he uploaded having the most views with 177 million. And more importantly, also adding, so far it's been around $1 million in ad revenue. I'm just adding it to my video budget so now I can spend more on content, lol. And so a number of people are seeing this as a win, at least for MrBeast. Because of course, on the other side, there's long been speculation that 1, Twitter inflates video view counts, and 2, people and outlets have previously accused the company and Musk of using back-end tricks to specifically make MrBeast videos bigger. And during all this, we've seen no shortage of creators going, I'm not getting anywhere near that MrBeast money. And that including some of the biggest creators on the platform. And notably, all this is Twitter's kind of just been needing a win lately. Especially as 1, there have been reports of users decreasing, and now 2, and this is actually one of the biggest stories of the day, it's feud with Brazil, with the Supreme Court judge in the country now investigating Elon Musk for obstruction and for refusing to comply with orders to block fake news. And to give you some background here, that judge has been trying to combat online disinformation and hate speech, citing its threat to democracy. And recently, the court actually ordered X to block certain accounts in the country, and while we don't know exactly what accounts this was applied to, it was likely ones that have been accused of spreading fake news. Now at first, Twitter complied because it was facing hefty daily fines if it kept those accounts up. But then we saw Musk quickly reverse course, unblocking the accounts and condemning the judge for putting the company in this position, writing, "We are lifting all restrictions. This judge has applied massive fines, threatened to arrest our employees, and cut off access to X in Brazil. As a result, we will probably lose all revenue in Brazil and have to shut down our office there. But principles matter more than profit." And saying this judge has brazenly and repeatedly betrayed the Constitution and people of Brazil. He should resign or be impeached. And Musk also vowing to publish all the demands from the court and reasons why those demands violate Brazilian law. And so now with that, you have the court shooting back at Musk, with the Associated Press reporting that the judge is now including Musk in an ongoing investigation over the spread of fake news, and also opened a separate obstruction investigation into Musk as well. With that judge writing, "The flagrant conduct of obstruction of Brazilian justice, incitement of crime, the public threat of disobedience of court orders, and future lack of cooperation from the platform are facts that disrespect the sovereignty of Brazil." And with that, many outlets have noted that the fake news problem has been a priority in the country since last year, right when Bolsonaro supporters stormed government buildings in an event that paralleled January 6th. And so also with this, the investigation has gotten some support, with Brazil's Attorney General tweeting, "It is urgent to regulate social networks. We cannot live in a society in which billionaires domiciled abroad have control of social networks and put themselves in a position to violate the rule of law, failing to comply with court orders and threatening our authorities." So notably, not everyone supports this, where the judge opening these investigations has been criticized in the past by people who think that he's overstepped when it comes to free speech. And we've seen some conservative politicians in the country praising Musk for going against the judge. But as far as what's going to happen here, we're going to have to wait to see. And this is an important one for several reasons, but also because Brazil is actually a major market for X. And then, if I had to choose one word to describe the weather of 2024 so far, it would be wet. Between what's felt like the endless rain in California and the South to all the snowstorms spread out everywhere else, wet is the word. And for all you errand runners, hikers, and vacationers out there, you don't want to let the weather control what you do. And luckily, the fantastic partner of our show, Vessi, they have you covered. And they have you covered in style. Be it my weekenders or my new Vessi Stormburst low tops, which are easy to slip in and out of, I'm still good to do just about anything all day in the same shoe I was wearing out in the elements. I'm taking my beautiful wife out to dinner. And reliable is another word that comes to mind when I think of Vessi. Right, they're ideal for any occasion that might find you around water, coastal walks, exploring outside the city, forest, camping, snowy days, boating. I'm just listing a lot of activities. Heading down on damp mornings, boom, another one. Washing your car, why won't Phil stop? Because there's no limit. So what are you waiting for? Just go to Vessi.com/DeFranco to get 15% off your first order. And also, I'd say check out Vessi's super sleek Astoria backpack. It's 100% waterproof. But main thing, that's Vessi.com/DeFranco. And then Israel is pulling back from southern Gaza, right? That's the news that's all over the headlines. But that news may not mean what you think it does. Instead, they're doing it in preparation for what many fear is a massive attack on Rafah, right? The last major city in Gaza, with the area on the border with Egypt, and it's where the Israelis told everyone to evacuate to if they didn't want to be in the middle of the Gaza City and Han Yunis invasions. Which is why right now, Rafah is completely filled to the brim with people with literally nowhere to go. It currently has over 1.4 million Gazans. That's over half the territory's population. And it's not like they can just head back to their former homes in Han Yunis. With the emphasis on the word former, as Israel has leveled much of it, with one resident even describing it as all just rubble, saying animals can't live here, so how is a human supposed to? And the expected rapid attack on Rafah comes as months of negotiations over a ceasefire have continued.